On a similar topic, Shayan is asking, how would you manage paid media for a higher ticket item? So $1,000 product versus, sub $100 product.
Yeah. I think people don't think about paid media well. I don't know how, what I would do first is recognize the difference between intent-based media versus versus inception-based media.
Yeah.
And the reason that Facebook is great for a brand like Native is because you don't know that you want Native deodorant until I sort of tell you should be buying Native deodorant.
Right.
And so running ads for a company like a deodorant business is great because people are like, maybe I should switch this brand up. Like, I'm using this product all the time. Maybe it's not good for me. Maybe this product is better. Maybe I like the scent better. And so I've created this inception idea in your head that, hey, you should buy deodorant. That's not true for a television, for instance. I couldn't be like, hey, buy a TV. You're not like, what I need is a TV in here or a mattress. And so I think it depends on the product that you're selling in terms of where you should start and how you should think about these things. If you're selling a high ticket item, there's a very good chance that it's intent driven only. Mm-hmm. No one's like, what I want to do is buy a $10,000 bicycle today.
Right.
They're like, I need to be in the market for this thing to buy it. And so I think you've got to balance whether you're intent-based, whether you can really, your business is sort of intent-driven, or you can incept that demand. And that inception of that demand is really dependent on whether or not your brand, whether people can make an impulse purchase or switch that brand right now, or they can't.
Yeah.
And so, I think there's an element of what product you're selling versus in terms of how you should think about paid media. Mm-hmm. That said, I'll go repeat the question one more time.
Yeah. So how would you treat paid media differently for a higher ticket item, $1,000 product versus sub $50?
Yeah, that's probably how I'd treat it. The hard part with $1,000 tickets, especially if you're launching a new company, is your CAC is going to be really high. Mm-hmm. So you have to put if you're selling deodorant and you're like, look, my CAC is $25. You're like, this ad is bad. Let me find another one where the CAC is under my makes sense. If you're selling $1,000 item, you might have to spend $2,000. You might have to spend $5,000 to see whether an ad is good or not.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, the CAC is $2,500. I got 2 sales out of this. That's not that many. Even if you have 4 sales, you're like, is this a good ad or not? It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
And you spent $5,000. And so that's the hard part is you have to have a lot more, you have to have a bigger bank account to be able to make these bets. You're playing at the high rollers table when you walk into a casino, if you're selling $1,000 item, not at the, broke man's, blackjack table.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
How would you think about that?
Yeah, so 2 things that came to mind. One is that's so right. The higher your AOV is, the more money you need to have to play, to just test and see what works.
Yeah.
Which can get insanely expensive. If you're selling a $250, $300 product, you have to spend $3,000, $4,000 just to see if a concept works. And if it doesn't, then you've just lost $3,000 or $4,000.
And there could be way more than that too, right?
Yeah.
$1,000 item could have a $700 CAC.
Yeah, exactly.
And that might mean you have if you're just testing, it could be hey, I spent $5,000, I got 1 sale.
Exactly.